Yo, what's up, Hoophead Nation, and welcome to our weekly Warriors segment. This
Yes.
is Eddie Aparicio, joined by my co-host Anthony Toine Corral, and
Yes.
now we're going to see Porzingis get integrated onto this team.
Yes.
We know that they missed out on the Giannis sweepstakes, and this was their consolation prize, and getting, unfortunately, often injured Kristaps Porzingis, who has a condition that he has to monitor for the rest of his life, and it could essentially emerge at any time. So they have to manage this. But hey, the training staff of the Warriors is considered one of the best, and they felt confident enough for them to make this deal. Maybe they found a way that they can go ahead and manage this so that he can play as many minutes as possible. So we're going to talk about the Porzingis integration, and then also what this means about the rotation. What's going to happen here for the next 27 games, and what should the Warriors be doing? What's their plan for the second half, right? So Toine, let's get into it, man. So Porzingis,
Yeah.
what are your initial thoughts about Porzingis? Do you think he is going to be that's going to fit very easily and seamlessly, and is going to bring the same kind of impact that kind of like what a Jimmy Butler brought to the Warriors last year? Do you think that he has the same kind of cachet to be able to do that?
Yeah. So, in my opinion, when Porzingis is on the court, he's an impact player, right? The caveat is when he's on the court.
Correct.
He's missed a lot of games, and if you've heard this show with any consistency, I'm a strong believer in building a groove, getting a pattern, And the problem with players that are injured often isn't so much it is their availability, but it's also the groove they get into. Now, I don't know if you heard, Eddie, but Steph's out for tomorrow. So Steph's not playing tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, so now that's got everyone.
No surprise. No surprise.
No surprise, but it's also got everyone wondering, when's he coming back, blah, blah, so on and so forth.
It could be a planned tank. You never know, right?
It could be. But to me, the biggest concern here is, do we start Porzingis? Does he come off the bench? How consistent is he going to play? How do we build? Because obviously the thing about it is if he immediately in today's team becomes the second best player on the team, right?
He will be.
Steph and then him. The team will get acclimated to that, and then he misses, and then the team's got to go back to a bunch of small guys fighting and being plucky and all of that. As opposed to, this. So that to me is the thing that I want to watch for. But I think that if he's playing, if he can average 20 minutes a game for, let's say, 22, 23 of the remaining 27 games, I think that the Warriors will probably stay, if not escalate, on their current standings, right where they're at today. Maybe go up a notch or stay where they're at.
I agree with you, bro. I mean, the thing is that if you look at the remaining Warriors schedule, they don't really play like a lot of hardcore teams. They have a bunch of they play the Pelicans coming up, the Memphis Grizzlies, you have the Clippers, you have the Utah Jazz, you have the Chicago Bulls, you have Washington Wizards, Dallas. There's a lot of teams there that they're easy can take advantage of. Now there's going to be some games upcoming. The one tomorrow against Boston Celtics. Then right after that is going to be Denver Nuggets, right? I mean, they're getting two tests immediately, right? Then you got the Lakers coming up, the Rockets, the Oklahoma City Thunder. You're going to have in the Minnesota. It's sprinkled in between, but they have a lot of winnable games. And I think given what I have seen to this point, and we brought this up on the last podcast, I think that the goal right now for this second half of the season is go ahead and see what you got in Porzingis, because you have him for a limited time. You have him as an expiring contract. You got to determine if he's someone that you think could fit for next season. Because right now, in my opinion, they're playing for next season. Really, I think they've relegated that they're going to go ahead and become a play-in team, right? Because the teams below them are not necessarily going to. They're not going to try and climb, and I don't think they're going to try and beat themselves up to climb up to 6. If they get there just by their process of what they're doing right now, then great. That's just an added benefit. But I think what they've been doing has been, I think their plan all along has been, okay, we're not going to go ahead and try to beat ourselves up. Let's see what we got. Let's find out these young bucks. If these are guys that we can go ahead and put in the rotation and help us climb the ranks, because we're going to need this youth movement to get where we want to get next year. So let's go ahead and see who we want to keep on this team. Not to say that everybody's going to be gone, but you never know, right? That these guys want to make a trade, and there's been a lot of rumors that they're still going to try and go after Giannis, and if they can't get Giannis, they're going to try and go after Kawhi Leonard, right? So you hear that too. It's like all things are on the table. I mean, these guys are trying to do one more last dance for Draymond Green and Steph Curry, right? And of course, Jimmy Butler's part of that equation too. So I think that's part of what's going on. I think that they're not going to try and climb the ranks too much. They're going to see what they got with what they have, and then they're going to try and plan for next year. That's my call. That's what they're doing.
Eddie, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
All right. Let's play pretend here.
Yeah.
Porzingis averages 25 minutes a game and plays all 27 games.
Okay. Yes. Let's pretend.
Who's a bigger impact player, him or Butler?
Okay. So it's interesting because Butler brought an element that the Warriors really needed badly. When the Warriors had acquired Jimmy Butler, they were a predominantly perimeter shooting team. Kristaps Porzingis is a predominantly perimeter shooting guy. He does have a down low post game, but his comfort zone is outside, man.
Yes.
But he's defensively a very good player. He's a rim protector because he's so freaking tall, right? So that's the benefit that you get with a Porzingis. But you miss out on the driving to the basket, get the free, the easy points from the free throw, which is what Jimmy Butler brought, right? That's what he brought. He brought that mentality, something that the Warriors lacked big time. And I think that's why you saw this big jump from last year. But Porzingis brings something that the Warriors have always wanted, a stretch five, which which he does very, very well. The only thing is that they're going to fall. They need to continue doing what they've been doing recently, and that's continuing to cut to the basket, with these other guys, because Porzingis is primarily an outside shooting big. That's what he is, right? So to answer your question, I don't think he's going to have the same impact as a Jimmy Butler has. He's going to be price for not having Jimmy Butler, but he's not going to have the same impact.
So you think both of them at full capacity?
Jimmy Butler and Porzingis.
Butler offers more than Porzingis.
Yes.
Okay.
For this team.
Yeah. No, fair.
Yeah.
The reason I ask you this is because before Butler got hurt, we had aspirations that let's just make the playoffs and we might win a championship. Right? Now you take Butler out, you put Porzingis in, and now it's become okay. Let's just prepare for next season.
Yeah.
And I'm asking, is the drop off that significant?
Yes, because you have a player who already has a condition that you have.
No. Of course, no. You're taking his availability into account, which you should.
Correct.
But I'm saying if they're both available, wouldn't statistically the odds?
If you're saying that they're both healthy, no issues. You have the prime of both of those guys. Not saying the prime, but at full health and still. Okay.
No, what I'm saying is this: when Butler got hurt, we in essence have the team we have now, minus Kuminga, minus Butler. Okay.
Yep.
And the fans and the media and everybody thought, hey, if the Warriors can get in, they might make some noise and win something.
With Butler. With Butler.
Just take Porzingis out of it, right?
Yes.
So now you have Butler. Hey, there was a lot more hope.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Butler goes away. Kuminga goes away, which wasn't playing a whole lot. And Buddy Hield goes away. Okay.
Yes.
You bring in Porzingis. And now the mentality seems to be, okay, let's just prepare for next year. And what I'm asking is it, if Porzingis is available, is it really that much lesser of a team with Porzingis and who we have than when we had Butler and who we had? Right? I'm seeing them close to the same.
Similar.
Yeah.
But the style of play is going to be changing, man. That's what I'm saying, is that he is what the Warriors want from the historical standpoint of a positionless shooting team that plays defense. And he's not positionalist, but he can guard the perimeter with some of these smaller guys, but he's not fast enough to be laterally quick, but he can make up for it with his length, right, on defense.
Yep.
But he does the shots, the outside shooting, which is what the Warriors have always coveted in having a big that can do that. That's why Quentin Post, the revelation of that guy, his defense was always somewhat kind of a liability until maybe this year where he got better at it. But you could see the benefit of having somebody like that who can shoot and also play defense. And this guy, Porzingis, is a hell of a better defensive player than Quentin Post, right? It's just more the availability issue. I just think that Jimmy Butler brought an element to the team that was sorely missing, and that helped them more to be a more complete team, in my opinion, than if they have Porzingis replacing Jimmy Butler. I just don't think that the impact is as much as it was with Jimmy Butler. And we will see.
What I find fascinating is you're right. So number one, you're right, but that wasn't, at least my perspective, when they first got Butler. When they first got Butler, I'm like,
I hated it. We both hated it.
Yeah, this isn't going to work. But then it proved to be something different. Now, we're both looking at Porzingis and going, "Oh, this is a good fit." Like systematically, this is
systematically, yes.
I'm curious as to how that fit is going to manifest itself across the remaining of the season. Now, of course, this is one big if, that he's got to be available. Like, he's got to be able to be there, play. But I'm curious. We've got the quote unquote the unicorn, right? The first of a long line of three. I mean, guys that can shoot, big men that can shoot from the 3-point. He's the original, right? Like the very first one that kind of got that. So my thinking is, Eddie, I'm a little more, which is not like me. I'm a little more optimistic, and I'm more
what?
Yeah, I'm a little more dependent on whether he can play.
Dude, what are you even smoking, bro?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. But I think that if he's available, and that's a huge if. That's a huge if. But if he's available, I think that we can make some noise. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win the finals, but I think we can get in the play. Well, obviously, I think we're going to make the play-in game. I think we can win.
I mean, that's a foregone conclusion.
But I think we can win a play-in game, and I think we.
In my opinion, the Warriors are going to do everything they can to become the 7th seed.
Yes,
because that will give them the better chance of advancing, because they've already proven that they can hang with the San Antonio Spurs, right?
Correct.
For whatever reason, whether it's Wembanyama against Draymond Green and Draymond Green's and Wembanyama's head, I don't know, but he seems to contain him. He seems to be able to handle him a little bit, right? Not shut him down, because you can't shut that guy down, but he definitely makes it harder for him to score it at the rate that he does with everybody else. So
let me ask you this, Eddie.
Yeah.
Do you think Kerr will normalize in his rotation 2 of the 3 bigs playing often together? Whether that be Horford and KP, whether that be KP and Post, whether that be Post and Horford, whatever, some combination of them. Because now we're talking 2 7-footers and 1 almost 7-footer in Horford.
Yep.
I think Horford's like 6'11" or something.
Yep.
But so we've gotten bigger.
Yes. Yes. And you might experiment with that, where you have like a Quentin Post and a Porzingis in there at the same time, because they both can shoot and they both can defend at a decent level. One of them can defend at a really, really high level. The other one is an up and coming defender, right?
Yep.
So and then you got Horford too. Horford is a guy who can shoot. He's only 6'8", 6'9". He's not 7.
I thought he was a little bit bigger, but
no, he's like 6'8". I think he's like 6'8", 6'9", in that range. And then Porzingis, I think he's 7'1", close to 7'2", and then Post, I think, is 7 foot. So
Horford ever played small forward?
I think he has. Yes, I think that's his natural position.
All 3.
I mean, you could do that. You could do that. You can experiment. That's what he's going to do. He's going to tinker. I mean, he's been tinkering this whole freaking season, Steve Kerr, right? He has this, from 4 till 12, relatively same guys, right? And he's trying to figure out, mix and match, who does best with, at the time, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green and Curry, right? Who fits best with these 3 guys, right? So now he doesn't have Butler. You may not have Curry that long either. I mean, he very well could be. There could be like a planned kind of like, let's just kind of play out this year. We're going to keep Curry as healthy as possible. Let's see what we got with Kristaps Porzingis. See if he's worth signing for next season because he's a free agent, right? Or an expiring contract, wherever you want to say. And let's see what we got with all this youth movement that we have, right? It seems to have been working the last 7-8 games since Butler has gotten hurt. We've beaten the Phoenix Suns, we had no business beating. We almost beat the Lakers. We beat the Memphis Grizzlies. We almost beat the Spurs. It's like these guys are playing hard. Let's just make this an open tryout, kind of what the Memphis Grizzlies have been doing. The Memphis Grizzlies just said, open tryout. Let's see who's going to stay on this team, right? This is the same kind of thing. Is like the Warriors are kind of doing an open tryout for next season. This is what I think that they're doing, man. So this is my call.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Let me go ahead and let me go ahead and do. I did some analysis on the Warriors net rating.
Yep.
Okay. This right here is who they should start based on the net rating. Okay. So you have Curry, net rating of 2.3. Look at Melton, 16.8, bro. Okay. He's got by far the highest net rating on the team. Then you got Moses Moody, probably played the small forward, 3.2, and then Sancho's at 1.8, and then Quentin Post at 4.1. You're probably going to be asking me, what about the other guys, right? The Brandon Podziemski, interestingly enough, has a net rating of 1.4. So he would be kind of the backup to Steph, which is exactly what Steve Kerr has been doing. Mm-hmm. Then you got, Will Richard, who's after that at 1.0 net rating, and he plays sparingly sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But the guy that really comes off the bench, or not I want to say come off the bench, but plays a lot is Draymond Green. His net rating is negative 0.2. So it's kind of like 0, right? Then you have
roughly they're a losing team when he's on the court.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of like tied when he's there, essentially, right? Okay. Then you have Al Horford. Al Horford's a negative 0.9. That's interesting. That's an interesting stat. And you have Quentin Post at 4.1. Then after that, the two lowest guys as far as net rating on the team, you have Pat Spencer, negative 2.7. That was surprising, man. But, the net rating is somewhat misleading sometimes because it's kind of dependent on game flow and who you're playing and at what time you're playing in the game. And correct. Pat Spencer, a lot of time, gets a lot of, garbage time right before, right? And he's starting to play now more often. I will see that probably that net rating starts climbing the more he plays. Gary Payton is the lowest on the team at negative 4.2. Very interesting.
Now, I know you probably didn't do it, but did you happen to look at Kristaps Porzingis' net rating?
No, because I didn't, but I could look it up.
No, it's all good.
I don't have it, but I'm sure it's pretty high. But I can look it up as you're talking about other things. But
yeah. So do you think Porzingis starts tomorrow if he's available?
I think that they're going to probably bring him off the bench at first.
Okay.
I think they're going to continue rewarding the guys who've been playing hard, right now. So you have, definitely, I think Post will, or either Horford or Post will start at the center. You're more than likely going to have Guy Santos play at the power forward. You're going to have Moses Moody probably play the small forward. Anthony Melton play the shooting guard. And then you have Podziemski, probably be the point guard. That's probably what I think is going to happen. Or pass.
What you have here, with the exception of Pods.
Yeah. Yeah.
So have Horford instead of Post and Pods instead of
Curry, right? Or it could be Pat Spencer too, because he's been playing him recently too. So, but one thing I wanted to kind of as a comparison, because we're talking about the Warriors net rating, I want to give you a comparison of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay.
Good God.
Check
well,
this out.
I know some of them already because I did this research.
You did this, right? So check this out, man. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, net rating of 15.5.
Yep.
Positive.
Yep.
Cason Wallace, 12.8. Now, not mind you, the highest guy on the Warriors is DeAnthony Melton at 16.8.
Yep.
You got Jalen Williams, Santa Clara Jalen Williams, 8.6, the lowest. This is probably because he hasn't been playing that much, right, this season. Chet Holmgren, 14.2. Isaiah Hartenstein, 13.9. That is ridiculous, dude.
No, that's insane. And if you look, so the Oklahoma,
and you can see the Warriors on right here. I'm showing it right here for comparison's sake.
Yep.
The difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, Oklahoma City has a point differential of 11.
I know.
Points,
that's
right?
why it's misleading.
Yeah,
this can be misleading. It can
Correct.
be, right?
It can be, and it also, and I don't want to seem like I'm defending Spencer, but Spencer, how when he's in, how often is he playing with Curry, Draymond, or what I mean? He's playing with everybody else. So obviously his numbers are going to take a hit.
That's
in
correct.
Plus minus or in differential when he's doing that. But for me, I would like to see Podziemski play behind Spencer for the rest of the season to see what we got in Spencer. Because I feel like we have a pretty, how can I put
big
this?
Big sample size of Podziemski.
Yeah, to me, I feel like Spencer could get better, and I think what we get from Pods is what we're always going to get from Pods. I don't see any more, much more improvement from him. But I do think that Spencer has the potential to get better. He may not, but let's take a look.
No, I agree with you. He just needs to play. He needs to play more and play with guys that he has an established rapport with, that he practices with and gets the playing time with. Because a lot of times he just gets thrown in there, to kind of make things work, right? Because he has good ball handling skills, makes good decisions. Probably defense is maybe his liability, realistically. If you look at what his real true skill set is, he's probably the worst at that. But everything else, he's actually pretty decent at. Passing,
and one thing about him that I've noticed, he does some bonehead turnovers here and there, but when it comes to the crunch time, which has been in these 4 games, he's actually pretty solid in his decision making when things get.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you,
and I like that. And just not to overshadow him is Moody. Moody's been playing really well the last 3 or 4 games. His shooting has been. He's starting to look like I thought he would look 3 years ago. Like he's starting to okay, Moody. Okay, I see you. I mean, his shot is so clean. Like when it's in, it's like I'm starting to get small feels. Like okay, that's in. Okay, that's in.
Yeah.
Hey, it comes and goes. Still, it's not 100% like where I'm relying on it. But he's starting to get very comfortable, and I hope he continues to grow because I think he is someone that absolutely could get better.
For sure.
And I think that maybe we're seeing that starting now.
But look at as I mentioned, DeAnthony Melton has the highest net rating on our team.
Correct.
Right? And that guy probably is maybe 50% to where he was when he was at his peak on the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yep.
From a shooting standpoint.
Yep.
Okay. He actually was shooting. He's been shooting a lot better, but he was clank galore early on. He started getting his game back. He started getting his legs back. He started getting his confidence back. He's driving the basket very, very well. He's long as heck, man. Right? He's got these long arms, man.
Yep.
But yeah, his net rating, I think, is just going to continue to get better. I mean, not drastically better, but it's going to be right around this level.
Well, I will tell you this. Around Anthony Melton is the last couple of games I thought he's played a little worse. Not worse than when he was hurt or when he got back, but worse than he had been playing. I think he is. I'm seeing when he feels like he's the man, he forces a lot of things. Right? I think that he can't.
That's good observation.
Yeah, he can't be the man. He's got to be next to the man, or
Correct.
Or 1 or 2 below. So I feel like he feels like the pressure's on him, and he's trying to do things, and he's turning the ball over, and he's bringing the ball into trouble, and so he's doing that a little more often than I had seen historically from him last year and this year, right? So hopefully that'll get settled, but I have seen some trends where he's struggling a little more than I would like in terms of pressure situations, and when we got to get a bucket, he's having a hard time trying to find that bucket.
He's probably pressing because he probably in his mind thinks he's probably one of the better players amongst the crowd when he's in there. So therefore he's going to take on that role of being the guy on a team that doesn't have a guy right now. They're all hurt, right? So, but with Porzingis, he's definitely going to be the second best player on the team once he arrives, because right now, it's DeAnthony Melton as the second best player on the team with Curry right now. Right now, when you bring Porzingis, he's going to be the second best player. DeAnthony Melton will probably be the third best player. And at that point, it's just whoever is, kind of having their night at the time, right? So anyway, any last parting shots, man, before we call it?
Just one thing I do want to touch on. I think it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Warriors. If Porzingis shows up, how much they're going to pay him. Draymond Green is on the last year of his contract next year, not this year. What are they going to do with him? Obviously, you talked about his plus minus, his net rating, so that's going to be interesting. If Porzingis plays well and we pay him, what does the outlook look like when we have a team of Butler, Porzingis, and Curry next year? How does that look?
And Draymond Green, right?
Yep. Well, that's the thing. I've got a little gut in me that they're going to try to trade Draymond during the offseason.
Yeah, but in order for him to be traded, he has to be performing at a level that people are used to seeing him at, and he needs to get back his game a little bit in his last 27 games, in my opinion, in order for him to be more tradable. Because now,
I'm not saying they'll be successful, but I think they're going to.
Yeah, maybe right.
Yeah.
But there's also that purpose in these last 27 games is for him to get his swag back, to because last game he offensively against the Spurs, he was actually pretty on. He's actually had a really good offensive game. So more of that, and then his trade value goes up, assuming that the Warriors are going to trade him, right? But the thing is that they still are going to be in the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes. There's definitely rumors about that, and if they can't get him, they're going to get another consolation prize, and Kawhi Leonard is the guy that has been emerging as that rumor that they might go after him.
That's the one guy that gets hurt more than KP. It's like
he does. But dude, he had a really great reminder of when he's healthy. Oh man, dude, that All-Star game,
Eddie. But those are becoming big ifs, We're
they're few and far in between for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna find out with KP. I'm just mostly excited to see how many games he actually plays.
KP, you're talking about Kristaps Porzingis.
KP, I just want to see how many games he plays. I think his talent will play out. He'll be a positive in that sense, but how many games will he play? And then obviously the big question is Curry going to come back soon? They're going to reassess him in a couple of days, because obviously without Curry, all of this conversation is moot. Like we're not.
I tend to believe and think that they have a plan right now where the Young Bucks are going to continue carrying the load of minutes. And I think that they're going to try and get, Draymond to be at a point where, maybe he's more tradable or get back what they need from him to be more competitive next season and get his confidence back. And then they probably have determined some games in advance where they want to see how Curry and Porzingis play together on the court at the same time. And I would say they probably have it at a plus or minus 10 games. That's what I think that they're doing.
Okay.
They're managing Curry's knee, and they're thinking, why are we going to go ahead and push this guy? Let's just save him, for next season. We're not going anywhere or where we want to go, right? So let's just go ahead and continue, getting our young guys the experience that they need, because we're going to need them next year. And let's just see what we got. And then we got to see what we got with Porzingis. Yeah. And we'll go ahead and integrate Porzingis and Curry along with Seth Curry when he's back in the next 3 weeks, right? And then we'll see what we got, and let's see how far these guys can take us, because they're going to get playoff experience or playing experience, and that's valuable. So that's what they want for next season. Everybody's playing for next season. That's what I think is going on.
All right. Well, I do think that if they get into the playoffs, meaning they win their play-in game, if they're as healthy as they can be this year, meaning no Butler, we're not getting Butler. I think they make some noise. I think
they will be. That's the thing. They will probably win a play-in game.
They haven't won one yet, Eddie.
They probably will. I'm saying they probably will win a play-in game.
What I'm saying is they haven't won one yet.
They're not there yet. But I'm just saying that they probably will win one, right? Or win the play-in tournament for their bracket, and then go into the 8th or 7th seed, and then see where it goes from there. And I think if they push one of those teams and to 6 or 7 games, that's an accomplishment for what they have. If they happen to win it, oh my God, they're like, dude, this is a great call, man. We're just finding out what we got development wise. We're gonna see who we sign for next year. We kind of know like what Porzingis and Curry look like before the play-in tournament. Maybe they might sprinkle them in a little bit here and there in the playoffs if they start progressing more than they all thought. That's kind of that's house money at that point. Anyway, that's what I think.
Good deal.
All right, brother. All right, man. Well, hey, everyone. Thanks, Hoopad Nation, for listening in. I'm Eddie Aparicio. This is Anthony Toine Corral. We're also known as the Cisco Kids, and we're here every week to talk about our Warriors weekly roundup and Warriors talk. Anyway, we're brought to you by Grumblings Media. You can find us on wherever you find your podcast. Until then, have a good rest of the week, and we're signing off. Take care, everyone.
Hey everybody, this is William Del Pilar, founder of Grumblings Media, and I want to say thank you for watching our content. If you want to support our all-volunteer efforts at Grumblings Media, smash the subscribe button right here. 100% free, and please consume and share our great content. Click either one of these two boxes for more of our work.